Yeah, g'day. Kieran McIntyre from the TAB here, and we've got 6 games to look at this week. The first of which is on Friday night in Palmerston North, the Hurricanes versus the Force. Now, I'm pretty bullish about this one. I'm pretty confident. I reckon Hurricanes 13+ victory here. They're coming off a bye. They've got Weepu linking into Conrad Smith coming back with Nonu there as well. They're looking good. They're looking solid in the scrums. I know it hasn't been their season, but this for me is their chance. Okay, the Force might have beaten the Bulls last 3 weeks ago, but since then they have performed very poorly, only drawing against the Brumbies last week, 13-all. So I think Hurricanes 13+ here, and I'm quietly confident about it. The next match, Highlanders versus the Lions. Everyone's been talking about 2011 being the Highlanders' year, and it has been to some extent. They've pulled off some pretty good victories, the last of which was against the Hurricanes. And they'll be pretty confident coming off the bye as well. Against the Lions side who have struggled, they've done all right, they've got the odd victory, but they really are the worst side in the competition, and I'm expecting a Highlanders victory here, very comfortably, in fact, 13+. Now the next game, Brumbies versus the Stormers. We all saw the Stormers sneak a win against the Blues last week. That was in controversial circumstances. Reviews now say that it wasn't a try, that's regardless. That they've now secured the points, they've beaten the Blues, and I think they're going to do it again. The Brumbies, they drew last week against the Force, and then they lost to the Lions. They are abysmal this year, and I'm not the only one saying it, and I'm not scared to do so again, to be honest. Stormers 13+, that's where my money will be going, no doubt. The next match, Sharks versus the Waratahs. This one should be a little bit closer. The Waratahs haven't had their best season, and they are having to travel. The Sharks, okay, last week they were beaten by the Bulls, who haven't done that well this year, but they are on the way up, the Bulls. They were paying $30 to win the competition last week, and now they're down to 12. They really were back to the side of old last week, so you can't really look past the Sharks, in my opinion, to beat the Waratahs. I've gone 12 and under. I don't think it's going to be a runaway victory for the home side, but I do think they will win comfortably. The Bulls, we've talked about them. They really did come back last week. They've got a tougher opposition this week with the Cheetahs. They really have done well so far. The Cheetahs beating the Crusaders a couple of weeks ago, so they'll be confident. But I have to say, I'm quietly pleased that the Cheetahs are coming up against the Bulls, because I think the Bulls are going to get a victory. Steph disagrees with me. He likes the Cheetahs, and he's been milking his prediction for the Cheetahs to beat the Crusaders for all it's worth. So I'll be very pleased to see him go quiet with a very close victory by the Bulls, but I think it's a victory nonetheless. 12 and under for me. The last match. Now, this match has been very controversial here at the Sports Desk. We've got Simon Thomas and Mark Stafford saying one thing, Grant Nisbet saying another. I'm in the middle waving my hand and no one's listening. The Reds versus the Crusaders. It's going to be very close, almost too hard to pick. The odds haven't been set at this stage, but I guarantee they're going to be close. Could even be $1.87 each. But for mine, the Crusaders should do it. The Reds are number 1 on the table for a reason. Crusaders are currently 4th, but I believe they're on the way up. The way they performed last week against the Chiefs was very admirable. When Carter got into gear, when Brad Thorne came back and solidified that scrum, they really were a team that looked to the future, and I like them. So I've gone Crusaders by 12 and under. Now, if you chuck a $5 multi on that and they all come off, you should be in the money. Last week, if you took all the results, if you take away the draw, you would have got about $400. If you had the draw, you would have been in the thousands. So I wish you luck.